start recording. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. So you should be able to see my screen now. This is what it looks like when you log into IQ Office. So you're just going to see your main dashboard. I'm actually going to go in and act as an agent so that we can actually see some campaigns. So where we're going to start today is really in how to categorize your contacts first. So that when you're adding them to campaigns and that side of things, your contacts are all in order and it's easy to do. To get to your contacts, you can click on this shortcut on the home screen right here where it says contacts and leads. You can click on that link here, or you can go to customer relations, my contacts and leads, and that will open up your main contacts and leads dashboard. I do want to make sure just quick, how many of you have your contacts sorted into types? So have you already gone through and you've sorted your contacts? Perfect. Oh, this makes me so happy. So most of you that are answering have said yes. So I'm just going to go through this very briefly for those of you that haven't. As you're looking at your contacts here, you can actually click on a contact. So we'll click on Travis Morris. And on the right-hand side, you have this section called contact types. You can simply check the boxes for that contact type. If you don't have the contact type in this section, you click the edit pencil and it will bring up your main list. So you can add a contact type by typing in the box and then clicking the add contact type. Then you can see here it's been added. To remove a contact type, you click the trash next to it and it will delete it. As you're clicking your contact types, if you've already created a campaign for that contact type, IQ Office is going to say, hey, you've got a campaign for this contact type. I think that we should add this contact to that campaign. And if you say yes, it's going to add the person to that campaign. You also can access your contact types by going over to the Customer Relations tab and down to Manage Contact Types. This as well will open up that main screen, and you can add or subtract contact types from here. If you're removing a contact type, it's going to say, are you sure you want to delete it? It's going to take this type from all contact types. You click yes, it takes it out, and you click OK. You can add multiple people to a contact type simply by checking the box to the right or to the left of their name. And at the bottom of the screen, there's a section that says contact type right here. And when you click that, I can also just add these people here. And click save. And now those people have been added to that contact type. Does anyone have any questions on how to add people to a contact type? Again, we were under the customer relations or contacts lead page. We opened up a contact and we added a contact type. And then we clicked save. We managed that contact type by going here and going to manage contact types. So if I can have you all just type in the chat box, good to go or got it. I just want to make sure you understand that section before we go to the next portion, because we did that fairly quickly based on the answers to that poll. Awesome. Perfect. So now we're going to go into that marketing section and we're going to spend some time underneath my campaigns. Last week, we talked about creating content to put in campaigns. So this week, we're talking about actually building those campaigns. Before we do that, I just want to know how many of you read emails from people that you don't know? I'm going to show these results to everyone because they're really interesting. So the more votes we get, the better off we are. So it's about 50-50. Some of you read them and some of you don't. Here's the next question for you. And this all has to do with what kind of campaigns we're going to create. How many of you read emails from other real estate agents that say things like, hey, great new listing, or hey, new luxury lakefront property? Especially if that's what the subject line is. Do you read emails from other real estate agents talking about new listings? Awesome. So this is all going to come when we're actually going through and creating campaigns. We're going to create 2 different kinds of campaigns, and we're going to talk about subject lines. So the first campaign that we're going to create is one for agents. And you can do this for agents in your office. If you'd like, you can upload contacts from your MLS into IQ Office. And so you can have all the agents in the MLS in your IQ Office. That's how you would do that. You would go to customer relations, you would import contacts, and you would import the list from your MLS that you exported. The first kind of campaign that we're going to make is going to be focused on other real estate agents. So it's going to be talking about listings that you have, if you have a buyer for something, if someone needs a rental, things of that nature. So again, you're first always going to go into marketing and you're going to create that content. So just for the sake of this campaign, we're going to go into marketing. We went marketing, my saved content. I know we did this last week, so that for those of you that were on that call, just hang tight. I'm just going to do a quick review. We're going to add content. And we're going to create a new property flyer. We're going to go here. We're going to go property flyer on the market. On the market, we're going to do green. And we're going to select the property from the MLS. So we're going to just do this Ruby Drive. It's going to insert all my information automatically. There it all is. It's got all my information, and I'm going to click save. Now it's been saved. And now I'm going to go into marketing, into my campaigns, and we're going to create a campaign for other agents. Again, in the contact type, if you've got them uploaded as your contact, it would be other real estate agents or other realtors. That's the contact type for the campaign. I think it's really important that when you're creating a campaign, you have a target audience in mind. I want you to keep this statistic in mind as we were talking. So the do you read emails from people you don't know? Some do and some don't. I will tell you this, if you get an email and it isn't providing an item of value, no one's going to read it. So we're going to go in, we're going to name this campaign Real Estate Colleagues. I'm a terrible speller. I love spell check. And then I'm going to go into the content type and I'm going to choose from my content. And I'm going to choose from property flyers on the market. Here's the flyer I just created. And I'm going to click select. When I do that, it automatically inserts that flyer into the content. I'm going to change the subject line. When you're typing a subject line, a good rule of thumb to think about is, would I read the email I'm writing? Would I open the subject line that I'm reading? So because this is going out to other real estate agents, it may say something like, great new listing, easy to show. Now, As I'm typing this in, I just want you to think about something really quick because we made this flyer first. So this is the subject that I'm going to send to another real estate agent. So if I'm sending this over to Michelle or Jen or both, Jen and Michelle and our real estate agents, so they're going to see Great New Listing Easy to Show, and that's going to make sense to them. If I were sending this to a client, and perhaps the client is, maybe I'm sending it to my clients who are families. So I'm sending it to my client base who are all my family people. I could say something like, with extra space for everyone, or great backyard for summertime play. But I'm going to choose this subject line based on who I'm sending it to. I'm also going to be very careful and make sure that I'm following all the equal housing and fair housing laws that I have, as well as your MLS categories. So wonderful backyard to enjoy in the summer is something that's really easy to do. And then I'm going to choose, do I want to send it on a date, a month, a birthday, an interval, a day of week, or a transaction date? So I'm going to send this on a date. I'm going to say, hey, I want to send this out on Thursday, and I'm going to choose a time. How many of you, I actually should do another poll here. How many of you actually read the emails that hit your inbox at midnight? Or is the first thing that you do when you get to the office in the morning at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, delete everything that came in between midnight and the time you got to your office? Right. So we all delete them, so far at least, the 3, 4, 5 of us. This is a true statistic. In most of the webinars that I do when I ask this question, most people delete when they come in at midnight. So if you choose any time, it's going to send it at 12:01 a.m. The cool thing about the system is you can actually go in and choose a time. Awesome. Shayna says she doesn't delete them, but she doesn't read them when they come in. I delete them. I get to my office and I delete them all. Because if you can't, if it comes in at 12:01, it's likely a robot that's sending it to me. And then I can make room for the people that I know that are sending things out. But here I can send it out and I can say, okay, Thursday, I'm going to send this out on Thursday. Most people on Thursday are starting to think about the weekend. So I'm going to send it out on 4:30 so that if they're reading their emails when they get home, it's at the top of their box. And if it's the end of their day, they're trying to clean things out before they leave. So most real estate agents at between 4 and 4:30 are getting ready to go out and meet with clients or socialize, but they have their phone and they're catching up. I'm going to send it after 4:30. You choose whatever time makes sense for you. And then I'm going to click next. It's going to give me an option that says save changes for only this or for all instances in this content. You're going to save it for only this event. If I made a change to this flyer and clicked save it for all instances of this content, it would change the content as a whole. Then I'm going to click continue. And now I have an option to add recipients. So I can click add recipients here and it will pull up the box of recipients. Here's where that contact type is. So I can go in and I can choose lenders. I can choose relocation contacts, and I can, I must have erased my referral. I can do that. And I can see here 2 contact types included. I also can at the same time choose to send this out to my entire office. I just go to offices and I select the offices. So I can see it's going out to everyone in my office and it's going out to 2 contact types. So then I click finish. It's going to show all the recipients. You do not need to check all these. You just click finish and then you click done. I can then go in and I can see, here's my real estate colleagues drip campaign. If I click on it, it will open it up. It's going to show all of my events, and underneath the recipients tab, it's going to show all the recipients. You can add additional events by going into marketing, my campaigns, selecting the campaign, and then clicking add event in the upper right-hand corner. Once you've created the campaign, you only have to add events to that campaign. So I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go to my content. I'm going to go to my just reduced flyers. I'm going to choose this flyer that I created, and I'm going to say price reduction. I'm going to send it on this date. I choose the time, and I click finish. Does anyone have any questions about how we created that campaign, or how we added an event to that campaign, or how we added recipients to that campaign? Are there any questions at all so far? So there's a question that says, if you add new agents in the office during the campaign, will it automatically add that new agent to the campaign? The answer to that is no. So what I actually do, and let me show you a campaign here really quick that's actually active, because I do want to show you the benefits, the statistics of using this. So I go in, and once a month, I add people to the new campaign and just make sure that it's up to date. So this is actually the campaign that you all received talking about webinars. And I can see here all the recipients. I can see how many attempts there were, how many sent there were, how many views I've gotten, how many clicks I've gotten, how many people have put themselves on the do not send list, and how many errors I've gotten. You can also go in and you can see the activity. If I click on the activity button of this and give it a minute, because it's processing a lot of data, but it's actually going to show exactly who opened it and how many times they opened it. So I can see here the Lawless team opened this on Monday, July 23rd, and they opened it twice. So it went through on the 23rd, they viewed it on the 23rd, and they looked at it twice. Renee Abbey, it went through on the 23rd, she looked at it on the 30th, and she looked at it once. To add people to the campaign, though, for that question, so I just go in here, I go to recipients, and then I choose my contact types. For this campaign, everybody gets it. So I just select contact type, I click finish, and then it makes sure that it updates it. It's that fast. And I just add that to my, hey, it's the beginning of the month. I need to make sure that I'm updating people. But this is a huge benefit of going in and seeing it, is these statistics on this side. I can also see who my top viewers are. So if you have someone who's a top viewer, you can actually go in and I can say, okay, Molly Hamrick's a top viewer. I'm going to click on her. It's going to open up her contact information. I can see everything about her. I can add a note. I can call or text her. I can email her from here. So you don't have to actually exit out of that screen to see your top viewers. It also does that on the main campaign dashboard. So on your main campaign dashboard, I can see who my main viewers are for all my campaigns. I can see the top events for all my campaigns. As you're looking at your top events, it's really easy to decide what kind of subject line you need. So again, to get to that, I went to marketing and my campaigns. On your main dashboard, it shows all of the statistics for your campaigns. Any of these gray boxes are clickable. You can also open up a campaign to get specific details on that campaign, or go to the Actions tab and see the activity to see what's happening. Did that answer your question, Margaret? Awesome. So I do also want to just go through one other part in my campaigns, and that is if you want to create a campaign or attach someone to a company campaign. So your company may have campaigns set up for you. And I'm going to come back to your question, Violetta. If they do, you go to marketing and then to my campaigns, and then you go to company campaigns. It will list all your company campaigns here. You can go in and you can click on the campaign to see events, the events in that campaign or the recipients. Let's choose one that actually has an event. So here I can see the event, and you can preview that event, or you can email yourself a preview, and you will see your recipients underneath the recipients tab. So if you want to attach someone to a company event campaign, you go to the company campaigns tab, and an event, we're going to go through what a contact campaign is here in a second. But if I say, okay, 2019 newsletters, I want to use this campaign, I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to click plus recipients in the upper right-hand corner. And now I can go through and I can say, hey, I want this newsletter to go out to my buyers, my homeowners, and my open house people. Once I do that, it's going to show me my recipients here. And we'll get statistics for my recipients. So many of you have offices who have set up company campaigns, and that's how you attach to an event campaign. An event campaign sends out emails with content that your company created. There are also things called contact campaigns. A contact campaign means your company controls the list of people that it sends to. So the office has maybe created a campaign, a contact campaign with all of the members of your MLS in it. So for example, the one that I clicked on was this local association members contact campaign. For a contact campaign, you do not decide who the recipients are. You decide the content that goes out. So you would just add an event. This works very similarly to creating your own campaign. I'm going to choose for my content. I'm going to choose the Southside Drive flyer. I'm going to say great new listing. And again, choose the date, or maybe I want this to go out on every Friday after 2 o'clock. And then there is an event that is going out to all the contacts that your company has set up. Does the difference in an event campaign and a contact campaign underneath that company campaign section make sense? So a company event campaign, you add the people to. A company contact campaign, you add the events to. If you're nodding your head at your computer, I can't see you. And so if you could type in that chat box, yes, no, holy moly, this is overwhelming. Say it again. I just need to know, I want to make sure that you understand the difference in a company contact campaign and a company event campaign. Thanks, Rob. So Michelle, Kurt, Violetta, Shirley, If you go ahead and type in that chat box, I want to make sure that made sense. Shayna, Jen. Awesome. So there is a question. Perfect. There is a question that says, hey, is there a charge for using these campaigns? And there's not. So with your IQ office that your office is providing, you can create as many campaigns as you'd like. You can have as many contacts in here as you would like. That is a service that just comes with the software. So the last thing that I want to go through really quickly is if you're in the customer relations tab. So if you're on your home screen or you're in that customer relations and you're actually just working in your contacts, you've already built out all your campaigns. There's a couple things that you can do that will help you. One, if you need to add multiple people to a campaign. So say you have a campaign that is an all contacts campaign where you're emailing everyone like something like community events. Maybe you're emailing them out awards. Maybe you're emailing them out a quarterly market update. But they're things that most of the people you are dealing with will have contact with. You can, if you'd like, also add people to a campaign this way. If you check this box at the top, it will select everyone on that screen. And there is a plus campaign button at the very bottom. If I click that button, it pulls up all of my campaigns as well as the company campaigns. And I could put them on this Important Dates 2019 campaign and click Save. That's one way to do it. You also could go into a contact, and on the right-hand side underneath campaigns, it will list all the campaigns that they are on. And you can add them to campaigns here by clicking the plus button and choosing the campaign. So just one more time, you can actually go into your customer relations dashboard underneath your contacts or your leads. You can check the boxes next to the person. You can say add to campaign here and bulk add people to a campaign. Or you can open up the contact and add them to a campaign here on the right-hand side by clicking this plus button and clicking there and then clicking Save. The last way that we went over in the very beginning of this is we went to Marketing, My Campaigns. We opened up the campaign and we clicked the plus recipients in the upper right-hand corner and we chose our contacts this way. You can either check individual contacts, you can select only contact types, you can select agents within your office or entire offices. Once you do that, it will give you a summary on the right-hand side and click Finish. It will also then show you all your recipients underneath that Recipients tab. So we've been at this for about 30 minutes. I told you it was going to take about 30 to 40 minutes to go in and actually create campaigns. I want to make sure that you don't have any questions. If you'd like to see another campaign built just to get to see it one more time, I'm more than happy to do that. If you're ready to go on with your day, that's awesome. But I also want to encourage you all. You've spent about 30 minutes listening to me today, and I'm super excited that you're all here. It's great that you're working on your business and you are working your business. However, if you don't put a time on your calendar to go in and work on your campaigns, you will never use this information again. So get out your calendars and let's look at this the rest of this week and next week and figure out a time that you can actually go in and work on your campaigns. I would set aside about 30 to 60 minutes. And I try to schedule things out for 30 to 60 days. So I go in, I create 5 or 6 events, I add them to my campaigns, and I don't go out further than 60 days because the market's always changing and information's always changing. And I want to make sure that I am getting out current information to all my clients. There is a question that says, is there a way to integrate a campaign into Facebook? So right now, there is not, but what you can do is you can actually go to your marketing and go to My Saved Content. And if you open up an event, so if I open up this Military Avenue and I say, hey, I want to, you can save it and get the HTML. What that does is it's going to open up a page that looks like this. If I click in here, I can click Control A, Control C, and I can then go to my Facebook page and I could Control V and I could actually paste it. But the easier way to do that is to go in actually to the listing and share it on social media, because then it makes a hyperlink. So I could say, hey, here, this, I need to actually share this listing on Facebook. And then it's actually going to digitally create that post for me. I do know that we are working on several Zapier integrations, and those will be announced once they're finished up and tested, so that what you're doing in IQ can seamlessly integrate to your social media. Any other questions? I want to make sure you're getting information out of this. I also want to make sure that you have a time on your calendar. So how many of you have put a time on your calendar to actually do this? Awesome. If you don't put it on your calendar, and I'm guilty of this as well, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen. And I think that, I mean, as you start, if you've never been in the software before, so if you're a brand new user to Realistic, I would schedule myself a little more time. So I would say, hey, maybe 2 hours a month that I'm going to do this. I'm just going to sit down for 2 hours solid and do it. Once you use the system more and more, it will come easier and easier and easier for you. And then you need maybe 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many campaigns you're working on and how much content you're creating. But if you don't put it on your calendar, I know that it won't happen. All right, I'm going to hang out for just a couple minutes here. If you have any questions, I want to make sure that you do get them answered. However, if you have other things that you need to do with your day, I understand. And that is the end of the information that I have for you. We're right at just about 37 minutes today, and I want to make sure that you have some time and you get value out of these. So I thank you all so much for coming. I'm here to answer questions. I'll hang out for 2 or 3 minutes. If I don't have any questions, then I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. But thank you all for coming. I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Next Monday, we are talking about, let's see what we're talking about next Monday. I believe it is, maximizing your open house is what we're going through next Monday. So how to maximize your open house within IQ Office, and some ideas for actual real life open houses as well. That's at 8 a.m. Pacific time next Monday. You're welcome, Jen. We look forward to having you again. If you're not on our Facebook page, we do have a Facebook page where this video will be posted. It's underneath Realistic Users. Here's our Facebook page. So all of our videos you can find underneath that video tab right here. You also can find them on our YouTube channel, which is Realistic Support. And so all past YouTube or webinars are here. There's a playlist that's actually titled Webinars that has all of our webinars on it. But this is a great resource as well. Bye. Violetta, are you looking for the events calendar or your company calendar? The training calendar is actually going to be on the Facebook page underneath events. Is that what you're looking for? Your calendar is going to be underneath tools and then to do our calendar. You're welcome.